If you're just joining us, we are walking through the massive internal shift that took me from a hard no shock to a concrete plan to meet our child. In our earlier phases, we dealt with the why me and the raw grief of the DNA anchor. But now we are looking at the who, the little person at the end of this journey, and the adult they will eventually become. This is episode 7, your first major decision. It's the moment we realize that this isn't just about a parent-centric decision to use donor eggs to meet a child. It's about understanding yourself and how you will hold the weight of this story for the child you can't wait to meet. It's about moving from how do I get a baby to how do I raise a person who is whole, honest, and secure in their origins. You don't know what you don't know. Welcome to Donor Egg Diary. I am a mom on a mission. I'm not a doctor or a clinical expert. I am just someone who went through it. I promised myself that I would share all the information I could so others like you may go into it with your eyes wide open. And why does this matter? Because you can make more informed decisions for your situation and for your child. And what's even better, you can access this 24/7. You can get answers without the endless research loop I did, and you can do it all with total anonymity. Let's get back to it. When you first hear the words donor eggs, it's natural, it's human, to focus entirely on how this affects you as the intended parent. You are trying to survive the medical storm, the financial stress, and the crushing weight of deciding if this path is even for you. That is normal. That is part of the healing. But what I learned was that really, the goal isn't just to get a baby. The goal is to be the best parents ever to a person who needs to live a full, beautiful, and honest life of their own. I started listening to adults who were born this way, donor-conceived persons, and it gave me a massive, necessary reality check on how two truths can live together. To us, the donor may be the precious medical bridge that helps us finally meet our baby. We see them as a gift, a solution, a miracle. But to that baby, once they grow up, that donor is also a piece of their biological story. They aren't looking for a new mom. They already have you. They just want to be total originals who know their whole story from the very beginning. I want you to sit with these 4 questions individually. Don't overthink them. Just be honest with your gut. Answering these will help you understand your view on the big picture before you have to make the practical, expensive decisions to match it. Question 1, the medical anchor. If my child eventually needs to know their biological health story to feel safe in their own body one day, am I ready to be the person who supports them in finding those answers? Am I ready to lead that search with love instead of fear? Question 2, the total original. Can I promise to celebrate a child who might have a personality, a look, or a talent that is a total surprise to my family tree? Can I love them for exactly who they are without trying to find me in every gesture? Question 3, the golden rule. If I were the one born through a donor, would I want the people I call my parents to be the ones who lead me to my truth with pride, rather than keeping it as a shameful secret? Question 4, the safe harbor. Can I be the person my child always comes to with their who am I questions, knowing my love is big enough to hold the space for their curiosity without feeling threatened? Wait, let's take a second for a reality check. This is a safe space, not a doctor's office. This isn't medical or legal advice. There is zero pressure here. My mission is to give you the insider track as I experienced it. But you are the one that must decide for you. Take this information, do your own research, and then make your own choices boldly. Now, back to it. If those questions felt like a yes to you, then your first major decision is already done. You're choosing to make the donor-conceived perspective a part of the very foundation for how you move through this process. Because while we don't know exactly how our own child will feel one day, every child is an individual, we can listen to the people who've already walked the path and learn from their lived experience. The reality check is this. There are different ways to navigate the medical side of this, depending on the options available in your area or the clinic you choose. You'll see different paths for choosing a donor, some more open than others. And while the paperwork and the contracts matter, what matters more is your intent for the future. If you feel like being an open book is the right fit for your family, you might find yourself looking for a path where the story is clear from the start. A path where that bridge is a known, respected part of the map. But if you're looking at a more private or non-disclosure path, you have to stay eyes wide open that the world is changing rapidly. Between shifting international laws and DNA kits in every pharmacy and under every Christmas tree, anonymity is a world that doesn't really exist for our children anymore. We have to assume our children will find out. Choosing a path of honesty now is just a way to make sure the child you can't wait to meet never has to deal with a big reveal or a discovery later on. We want them to grow up in the light of the truth, not the shadow of a secret. If you're still feeling unsure, or your answer to those 4 questions wasn't an immediate yes, please hear me. That is totally okay. You aren't doing this wrong. It's actually a sign of a high-integrity parent to stop and say, I need to think about what this means for a whole other person. It might mean you need to hear more from adults who've lived it, or just let the idea of biological roots settle in your heart while you're still healing from your own initial shock. There is no rush to have it all figured out today. The goal is simply to make sure that when you do move forward, you are doing it with your eyes wide open. Because that's the best thing you can do for yourself and the child you can't wait to meet. One last thing before we continue. I knew there would be others out there like me. People who want the deep dive answers right now because they are standing at the fork in the road today. I have free checklists on the website to get you started. Checklists that help you navigate these exact first decisions and the different donor paths without the overwhelm. They are there for you right now in the vault at Donor Egg Diary. In the next episode, we're moving to episode 8, the Transparency Protocol. We've looked at the big why. Now we're going to look at the next 4 standards regarding timing and the story. We're going to talk about how to build a legacy of trust that starts before they even arrive. I'll see you there.